a collaborative divorce, as Kristen said, that we put teams together, right? And as part of the team is what you do, a forensic accountant. And I actually wrote this one down so I get it correctly. So in the process, your job is to keep the parties focused on the relevant financial issues rather than the emotional issues and encourage value-based discussions and settlements. From your perspective, why should someone choose collaborative divorce? And can you share a couple of success stories from your perspective?
I'm Fiona Dawn. My firm is O'Shell Dawn CPAs. We have offices in Boca Raton and West Palm Beach. And I've been doing accounting since 1988. It's quite a run. Choosing collaborative is a great decision. It's better than the typical litigated divorce process, because here I work with both parties. I have equal access to them. They share with me all of the information that I need so I can do my work and determine the marital estate, what are their assets and liabilities, how to propose a plan to divide them up, what alimony may be, if that's applicable in the case, and child support if they have minor children. And to work through collaboratively is a much better plan, because I have the ability to be creative. We build options, we bounce ideas off of one another in the team setting, always moving forward toward getting all the issues resolved. It's a better process from a financial standpoint, because there's one CPA who is having complete cooperation from the group. There's money saved in the professional time in that perspective. And frankly, I look at the finances of families, and I've said many times to parties, you need to keep your assets in your family. You have children to educate, for example, when I see perhaps they didn't have a good plan. They didn't have Florida prepaid plans in place or 529 plans in place. And here people who are separating have two households to support. So there are a lot of considerations. So it's rewarding in my role to help people get their issues resolved. And frankly, people who can work collaboratively, if down the road they have other issues that come up, they have a history of working together. And so they can go back and maybe involve their professionals for an issue. Go call Jennifer and say, can you help us? We're struggling about this. But it's a much healthier plan emotionally and financially when you do collaborative instead of litigation.
So in your role, are you working neutral, or are you sometimes on individual, I hate the term teams, but are you on one party or the other party, or it depends?
I am neutral in the collaborative process, and I have equal access. I'll interview the husband, I'll interview the wife, separate and apart from our team meetings when we're all together, meeting as a group, because there is information that people need to provide to me, and the team meeting is not necessarily the forum for that. So there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes with me as I work with each person. And then I share my findings with the group. And if I have questions or I need, sometimes I'm not getting information in the blink of an eye. People are working, they have other priorities, but everyone has been very supportive in my cases and have nudged their clients to get me what I need so I can get finished.
Got it. And then I'm going to sort of piggyback on that financial aspect that you were talking about. You said, there's questions about alimony. And one of the major questions or pain points that people have is around the home. Again, I support a lot of women who are going through either thinking about going through a post-divorce, and it is always the home, right? That is that one pain point. And so Melissa, actually recently, what was the designation you recently got? It was the Real Estate Collaborative Divorce Specialist, correct?
Yes, Specialist Divorce, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can you talk to us, as I said, the home, as most of the time, is one of the largest assets in some of these divorce proceedings. Can you talk to us about, how you help your clients through the process? And what are some of the things that they need to think about when thinking about the home and those assets inside the home?
Of course, certainly. So my name is Melissa Jane Rubin, and I'm the principal of the MGR group at Compass. And we too have offices around all around South Florida and throughout the country. So we help our clients everywhere in the United States. And I too am certified as a mediator like Jennifer. And what's most important is to truly understand what each party wants out of the marital home. So I look at it like a lemon. We all can figure out how to make it work. Somebody might want the seeds to grow a plant and somebody might want the juice. And the key is, how do we get people to recognize we can share that lemon and both win? And I work between both parties to find out, one person might want the house, one person might want the money. And once I understand what they're most interested in, then we can collaborate to figure out the best route for both parties. In all cases, it's important to know if one person wants that property or not at the end. And if that person does, it's important to consult someone like yourself, Christine, to truly understand if financially they can afford to keep that property. Because financial stress, I don't know if any of you have had that, but the idea of not having enough money can create such anxiety, and to put yourself in that position after you're going through a divorce just doesn't make sense. It can be avoided. And once we know that and we check that out, and Jennifer pointed out too over the weekend that it's important, especially if you don't have a credit card or a bank account, for a woman to go ahead and do that for herself, to start preparing for her own future and building her own credit. I always ask both parties to create a solution if somebody is living in the property, to make sure that they know who is going to pay for things, because that could create a little bit of animosity if one party is paying and the other isn't getting paid back. And so we try to make sure that we have a road plan to financial success that we all have agreed upon, so that when we move forward to list and sell that property, we're communicating effectively and on the same team.
Melissa, a question for you. Within divorce, does it often happen where if the woman is going to remain in the primary residence with the children, that there can be something worked out where the husband and or wife, whoever is not staying at the home, will help with the upkeep of the home until such time as the children move out? I mean, are there different ways to go about splitting those assets when, say, children are involved?
Absolutely. It's just about collaborating again to see what's most important to both parties. I found often in my experiences that women have been staying at home raising their children. And so now it's the first time in quite a long time they're coming back to the workforce, or they're coming back recognizing that now they have to find another way to produce income other than potentially the husband giving them money financially to support them until the kids are grown up.